Right. Hi Fairy Fam! Welcome back to my vlog, and we are doing a picnic for Earth Day. We got out the fancy china. Some towels. Now this collaboration video was started by Gayle Crabtree, and it includes a bunch of people whom I don't have the list with me right now in my head because I got a couple of collabs going on. So I will list everybody in the description below, so look for that. I will also be linking everyone's videos in my collab video folder on my page. I got purple. Okay, so what we have for our picnic today is some deviled eggs, but they are made with avocado mayo. And Michael gets sweet relish in his. I don't. So 2 halves. And we have Italian sub roll-ups, lettuce wraps. So Michael gets 2 of those. You want to handle those?
I will try.
They're very flimsy. I've never made lettuce wraps before, but my goodness. How do you get them perfect? How do people do it right? It's my first attempt. I think they look amazing.
Those 2.
Oh.
Do you see these?
Are you complaining about my wraps?
Oh no, I'm gonna eat it. Don't get me wrong. I'll eat all of it.
Let me turn it this way. And then these are 2 ounces each of broccoli salad, and what I put in it was broccoli and shredded cheddar cheese, some bacon, avocado mayo, and a little bit of erythritol to sweeten it. Cheese. I'm not violent with my food. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so what we decided to do for our Earth Day picnic was to ask some Earth Day questions to each other. So Michael's going to do a quiz, and then I'm going to do a quiz. So which quiz do you want? Or which quiz do I want? What do we got?
I don't know.
Whale conservation, protect our species, climate change, oceans and plastic pollution, environmental literacy, deforestation and biodiversity, clean energy.
Which one do you want?
I want to do biodiversity, which I don't know a whole lot about. This broccoli salad's really good.
Alright, deforestation and biodiversity.
Yeah.
True or false? Deforestation is the second leading cause of global warming in the world.
You see, I would think air pollution would definitely be number 1. Deforestation would definitely be up there because that filters the air. I'll say true.
Check.
And I should tell you.
Correct. Deforestation is the second leading cause of global warming worldwide, and it produces about 24% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Deforestation in the tropical rainforest contributes more carbon dioxide to the atmosphere than the sum of all cars and trucks that drive on the world's roads.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Question. Which of the following is not a problem caused by deforestation? Loss of biodiversity, hurting the economy, the harming of many indigenous peoples, They are all problems caused by deforestation.
I think they're all problems because the economy depends on like lumber and stuff too.
Correct. Across the world, forests are home to about 80% of terrestrial biodiversity, while many indigenous people, about 60 million, are completely dependent on the forest for their food and livelihood. Many more people live near forests and rely on them. In terms of the economy, forests provide 75 to 100 billion US dollars of goods and services every year.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, well, paper, anything paper product
paper,
is from
wood.
wood.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just that alone, and there's a lot more that comes from it than just paper.
Right.
Wood-
And you gotta figure saps and stuff like that. We use saps and stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Twine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating.
Michael's not good at eating and talking. He's not a mukbanger.
Which of the following is not a reason why biodiversity is important? Biodiversity loss would decrease water quality. There are too many animal species on the world. Many species act as pest control. Biodiversity ensures food security by supplying a wide variety of plant and animal species for nutrients. Biodiversity loss decreases available nutrition.
There are just far too many animals on this planet. I think that's a dumb answer.
Mm-hmm. That's a long list of why it's correct, but the answers kind of give you that. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna click next. Which land-based ecosystem has the most diversity? Deserts, tropical rainforest, the tundra, the grasslands.
I'm gonna assume rainforest because they have like the most amount of like bugs and birds more than anything. And then you got like the monkeys and stuff.
I dropped the beach.
We're gonna edit that out.
Correct. Worldwide, the tropics contain the most biodiversity, with rainforests being the areas that are the most rich in species. Although the tropical forests only cover 6% of the Earth's surface, they contain 1/2 to 3/4 of the world's plant and animal species.
Wow.
What can you do to fight deforestation? Leave forests standing and plant more trees. Reduce your use of products made from wood fiber, including paper and cardboard. Demand forest products from sustainable sources and deforestation-free supply chains. All of the above.
All of the above.
Yes. What is known as the sixth extinction? The fact that there are 6 major species in the world today that are facing the threat of extinction. The 6th species that became extinct. The sequel to the movie The Fifth Element.
I have to believe that one.
The current period of time where species are disappearing at an extreme rate.
I'm gonna go with the last one.
Correct. Elizabeth Colbert, author of The Sixth Extinction, says that human behavior, particularly pertaining to the use of fossil fuels and climate change, has led to a sixth extinction where many species are considered endangered and are disappearing. How many trees does it take to provide a day's supply of oxygen for 4 people? 1, 10, 50, 100.
Probably 100.
Incorrect. According
One wrong.
to the North Carolina State University, one large tree is able to supply a day's supply of oxygen for 4 people. Trees are also able to absorb up to 48 pounds of carbon dioxide a year.
I didn't know that.
How much of the global human fossil fuel emissions annually from 1990 to 2007? 65%, 33%, 5%, 0%.
5%?
Ooh, incorrect. 33%.
Oh.
A study conducted by the U.S. Forest Service Northern Research Station found that between 1990 and 2007, global forests have removed 2.4 billion tons of carbon and have absorbed 8.8 billion tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere annually. This is equivalent to about 1/3 of fossil fuel emissions. Forests, just like oceans, are carbon sinks. Yeah, that's bright. How much of the Earth's land is covered by forests? 5%, 10%, 16%, 31%.
It's not that high. Because a lot of, well, we have forests, Africa, South America. Was there like a 30? What was it?
5, 10, 16, 31.
I'm gonna say 16. That's being generous.
Incorrect.
Was I being generous?
According to the Worldwide Wildlife Fund, 31% of the Earth's land is covered by forests.
Where?
Right here. Right in our backyard. All 31% of it.
Alright.
Forests produce oxygen and provide homes for both people and animals. Forests also provide food, water, clothing, and traditional medicine and act as carbon sinks. Alright. Which is not a factor contributing to the loss of biodiversity? The planting of trees, urbanization, climate change, overexploitation of species.
Planting trees.
No, I'm just kidding. Correct.
Unless it's an invasive species and then it kills off a bunch of other species of trees and stuff. Where's your
You got
biodiversity then?
7 out of 10. You got a C.
I got a C. Right. Michael's turn. Wait, quiz list. There it is. Ooh, that sun. It just keeps going out from those clouds right there. Alright, do you want whales, climate change, oceans and plastic pollution, environmental literacy, or clean energy?
Let's go with clean energy because I don't know a lot about it, so I might fail this quiz, but we're about to learn a lot about it today.
Alright. 10 questions. Question 1. Which of these countries do not vow to use only 100% renewable energy by 2050? Afghanistan, Guatemala, Vietnam, Canada.
I think Guatemala.
Guatemala? Incorrect. Canada.
Wait, hold on. No. Let's back this up. List those countries again.
Afghanistan, Guatemala, Vietnam, Canada.
Okay, Afghanistan has been ravaged by war, but they're still claiming
They're going to be
they're gonna
100% renewable energy.
clean energy. That is awesome. Guatemala, I don't know too much about,
I don't either.
so I can't really speak on it. And Vietnam is a very small country. And you're telling me Canada?
Canada.
Our hat is the only one on that list not vowing to do clean energy? Like, they'd be the most capable
In
out of
30
that
years
list.
from now.
Come on,
It says,
Canada.
oh, I got to pop up. There it goes. It says, at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in 2016 in Morocco, 48 countries who are members of the Climate Vulnerable Forum pledged to use only renewable energy by 2050. These countries are often those who are and will be affected by climate the most. Some of the countries who committed included Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Kenya, Guatemala, and Vietnam.
Even Kenya. And Canada's not joining that pledge? Come on, Canada.
Come on, Canada.
Also, this lettuce wrap is delicious.
I know, it's amazing. It's all the best flavor. We got salami in there, and turkey pepperoni, and ham. The ham is just a regular, like, ham. There's no honey on it or anything. And roast turkey and some cheddar cheese, some fresh cheddar cheese. I don't buy those pre-made, like, wax slices. I buy the actual, like, slice it off a block. Question 2. Which country has not run completely on renewable energy? The USA, Denmark, Portugal, Costa Rica.
Which one hasn't run completely
Has not been
on
running
renewable?
on renewable energy.
Well, that would be us.
The USA?
Yeah.
Correct.
We have a lot of wind farms. I've been seeing a lot more solar farms, but as a country, we're a long way away. It's possible. It's 100% doable. It's just very slow moving.
Yeah, they've been trying to put up solar areas.
I've been seeing more solar farms out here in Virginia.
They have it over here. They will free install solar panels for your house if you agree to using renewable energy. Like, that means basically like dumping your Dominion power, I think, isn't it?
I mean, I'd go for it.
It says what was that? It says while in some places in the United States have run on 100% renewable energy, such as Burlington, Vermont. Good job, Vermont.
Good job, guys.
The entirety of the country has not. Some countries that have include Denmark, who ran entirely on wind for a whole day, Portugal, who ran on wind, solar, and hydropower for 4 days, and Costa Rica, who was powered by renewable energy for more than 100 days. Trucks.
Can you read that list again? I couldn't hear over the truck.
Okay. Some countries include Denmark, who ran entirely on wind for 1 day, Portugal, who ran on wind, solar, and hydropower for 4 days, and Costa Rica, who was powered by renewable energy for 100 days.
Again, last I checked, Costa Rica's pretty small, but that is still a great accomplishment. Good job.
All right, number 3. I said 4. 3. My brain goes one direction, my head goes another.
3. Pick 3, my lord.
Pick 3, my lord. 3. True or false? Across the globe, the coal industry is declining while renewable industries are on the rise.
You know, I want to say that's true. Like, that would be really cool, but I also feel like it's probably not.
So you're gonna go with false?
Yeah, I mean, the oil industry is massive.
Incorrect. In 2016, the world coal production fell by 6.2%, which was considered to be a record amount. A decrease in coal consumption in the United States and China led to a decreased amount of coal production. In 2016 was the second year in a row that coal saw a decline. Alternatively, electricity from renewable energy increased by 12% last year, which was the fastest growing source. Renewable energy now accounts for 4% of primary energy production worldwide. I know, right? Question 4. Which of the following is not considered to be a source of renewable energy? Ready? Hydropower, wind, natural gas, solar.
Natural gas.
Excuse me. No, I'm just kidding. You know that's not renewable energy? Correct. Renewable energy sources regenerate, consist of biomass, hydropower, geothermal, wind, and solar. Question 5. Which of the following are negative impacts of burning fossil fuels? They contribute to environmental degradation and pollution. They harm local communities. They contribute to human health problems. All of the above.
All.
Correct. Number 6. True or false? Using more renewable energy sources would increase the overall amount of land needed for energy production.
Run that by me again.
Using more renewable energy sources would increase the overall amount of land needed for the energy production.
I mean, I've seen solar farms.
They're huge.
They're huge. They take a lot of land.
Well, we have a lot of land in the Midwest to take up. That's not farmland.
Right. And windmills also, I know a lot of people probably see them far away. If you ever see them up close, they're massive. So, I mean, I feel like that's true.
Yeah. Okay.
But let's learn why it's false.
Incorrect. Let's learn why
Let's learn why it's false.
Let's learn why I can't get a question correct here.
Like, I feel that's true, but let them tell us why I'm wrong.
Renewable energy sources actually require less land. About 1.15 to 1.2% of the world's land is needed for renewable energy production, whereas oil and gas take up 1 to 2%. This 1 to 2% does not include refineries, pipelines, coal, nuclear infrastructure. Renewable sources like solar don't run out, so the same land can be used indefinitely. Similarly, new solar panels would be installed on the same land if they wear out.
You know what? I was only thinking about like the actual
building
facility.
More, yeah.
No, I was only thinking about the actual facility, say where the power company makes its power. I wasn't thinking about the offshore mining facilities to actually get the oil, all the mining. I wasn't thinking about those. I was just thinking about the actual where it's made.
Question 7. In 2016, a lot of these revert back to 2016. I guess this quiz is old.
It's probably also when all the studies were done. They haven't.
Yeah.
They don't do the studies every year.
The information might not be up to date. In 2016, about how much of the United States energy consumption derived from renewable sources? Didn't we answer this one? 1%, 10%, 40%, 70%.
I'm gonna go 1.
Incorrect. 10%.
Okay. It's
So
better than I
close.
thought.
Yeah, you were
It's better
close.
than I thought. I know. So I'm gonna go off on a little tangent. I know certain areas would benefit greatly from more renewable energy sources. What is it, Los Angeles, that every summer has to do the rolling blackouts because of all the electricity running. It's too much for their facilities to handle. So even if they were to add more solar, I mean, you have a lot of real estate to add solar. It's a city. There's roofs everywhere. Just start putting solar panels on roofs, plug that into the city's electric, and they'd be able to handle their summers.
Maybe.
At least that's how I feel. You know, like, it might be expensive for the city, but they wouldn't have rolling blackouts
Again,
anymore.
he's not like a bioengineer or anything like that.
No, this is just a theory. But I think a lot of cities would benefit greatly. Maybe not right off the bat replacing their energy system, but supplementing with solar or wind to help them in times like that.
Question 8. In the United States, which one of the... Sorry, my brain skipped a word. In the United States, which is one of the fastest growing renewable energy sectors? Solar, biomass, geothermal, none of them. Fastest growing renewable energy.
And that's, you know, it's funny that they said none of them, because in my mind, as soon as you started that question, I was like, it's either solar or wind. And wind wasn't on the list. It was none of them. I will say I've seen a lot more windmills than I have solar farms. So let's go with solar. Or none of them, because it's going to be wind.
Okay.
I feel like it's wind.
Incorrect, solar.
It was one of the two.
Never second guess yourself. It says 60% came from solar and wind. So it combined it. I don't know. Quiz is old, probably. Number 9. According to scientists, how many countries would run entirely on wind, solar, and water by 2050. 0, 20, 70, 140.
What were those numbers again?
0, 20, 70, 140. How many countries would run entirely on natural resources?
So, like, probably 20.
20? Incorrect. 140.
Okay. No, you know what? I forgot that Europe's just a bunch of little countries.
Yeah. Question 10. Which United State has proposed to commit 100% renewable energy electricity? Hawaii, California, both, neither.
Neither.
You don't think Hawaii can do it?
I don't think they've said they're going to do it. Not that I heard.
Both.
Well, California, really?
It says Hawaii aims to get there by 2045, while California has an approach that will require 60% of their electricity energy from renewables by 2030, and the other 40 under zero carbon requirement law. And your summary is...
I failed.
He got 30%. I mean, good job, honey. Good effort.
I did say I didn't know a lot about what this was going to be over, but we were going to learn a lot of cool stuff. Like, I learned that Canada needs to get on the bandwagon.
Yeah, Canada, what's up? What's up, bro? Try to make fun of this. We know we're bad. I'm gonna do what other mukbangers do. Oh, this is the best wrap I've ever had. Oh, guys, look at how amazing the stuff. Oh,
Well, I mean, I can say this is the best lettuce wrap I've ever had.
What about the one before it?
Did I have one before?
Yeah, you had two.
Oh. I was like, because I don't think I've ever had a lettuce wrap, so.
The one before it wasn't just as good? What was the difference? Alright, you want to do one for me? And then we'll finish up. Oops, there goes cheese. Oh, my phone's recording. Should be good.
Okay.
Okay.
Whale conservation, protect our species, climate change, oceans and plastic pollution.
That one.
Let's learn about our oceans, guys.
I've always wondered about plastic. There's a lot of it.
All right. 19 questions.
Holy cow. Why do I get the big one? I better at least get a B.
Question, what happens to plastic waste? Is it biodegradable material so it eventually disintegrates? It never fully goes away, it just breaks into little pieces. There is no such thing as plastic waste. All plastic is recycled. It's dumped into the ocean for the fish to eat.
The last one sounds like logic of everybody that goes to the beach. I think it breaks into smaller pieces.
Correct!
Woo!
Plastics at Sea, which stands for Sea Education Association, North Pacific Expedition 2012, a 36-day nautical research journey through the North Pacific subtropical gyre down to the Hawaii Islands, found this to be true. The team was studying plastic pollution in the ocean and found that out of the 66,077 pieces of plastic collected in samples, 95% of it was millimeters in size. For more on their incredible journey, check out the cruise journal. No, I'm not.
No, thank you.
Question number 2. Why is plastic dangerous to marine life?
Because they're stupid and they eat it. I don't know.
They mistake it for food and cannot digest it.
Whales.
They get tangled in it, which hinders their ability to swim.
That too.
Both A and B.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's not dangerous because they use plastic waste for habitats.
Totally. Maybe.
Correct. Plastic tends to float on... I can't read today either. Plastic tends to float, and bobbing on the surface can lead them to be mistaken for other marine life. Plastic bags are often mistaken for jellyfish by leatherback turtles and consumed. A 2009 study found that out of 408 leatherback sea turtle autopsy reports, plastic was found in a third of those cases. Marine life can also get tangled in nets, cords, and other plastic debris, which hinders their ability to swim and in some cases can be a severe choking hazard. Because they're like small children and put everything in their mouth.
Yes. So do our rabbits.
So do our rabbits.
Everything.
Question 3. Where does the majority of plastic waste end up? Oceans, burned for energy, landfills, recycled.
You know it takes more energy to burn for energy and recycle than actual energy that's given off from it? That's what I was told once.
Burning stuff is the least efficient way to get energy out of something.
I'm going to say it goes in the ocean since that's what the quiz is about. Does the title give away the answer?
Correct.
Like in a TV show or the movie when you get to hear the title in the movie?
Taking hundreds of years to break up, plastic is not going anywhere soon. While some of it does make it to landfills and recycling centers, a majority of it ends up in the oceans through deliberate dumping of garbage into waterways, inefficient waste infrastructure, and simple littering. Once in the water, the plastic waste is gathered up by one of the 5 major subtropical gyres into enormous stretches of plastic soup.
Soup?
It's got a clickable link.
Don't click it. Don't go down that rabbit hole.
No,
We all know where the internet goes.
Too late. I was hoping there would be a picture of plastic soup here. There is not. How many million tons of plastic are dumped into our oceans every year?
Good golly.
1 million tons? 8, 20, 50 million tons. All of them.
I'm going to say 8.
8 million tons? Correct.
How much gets fished out, though?
According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, at least 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into our oceans each year. That's the equivalent of dumping 1 garbage truck full of plastics into the ocean every minute. If nothing is done, this will increase to 2 garbage and 4 per minute by 2050.
So 10 years from now. No such thing as landfills. We're just going to dump it in the ocean. It's good. It's okay. We'll get out.
It's a water fill instead of a landfill.
Right?
True or false? There are many alternatives to single-use plastic products.
True, you can use glass or something instead.
Correct! There are many alternatives to single-use plastic products, or even just plastic products. From reusable bags to stainless steel travel mugs, giving up plastic can be as simple as a single choice. How many marine species are harmed by plastic pollution?
The trees keep dropping like little pieces of like, I don't know if they're twigs or...
Yeah.
What?
How many marine species are harmed by plastic pollution?
All of them.
52, 693,
Good golly.
1,326, 5,489. Those were oddly specific numbers.
I need to go like towards the middle somewhere, because what's the middle number?
Well, there's 4, so there's really no middle.
Well, one's got to be higher and one's got to be lower, so there's got to be at least a middle number.
52, 693, 1,326, 5,489.
I'm gonna say 1,000 something.
1,000 something. Incorrect! It's 693.
Well, it was in the middle.
A 2015 Plymouth University study compiled reports recorded from around the world and found evidence of 44,000 animals becoming entangled or swallowing plastic debris, accounting for a total of 693 marine species. At least 17% of those affected species are listed as threatened or near threatened. Number 7 of 19. What percent of its plastic does the U.S. recycle? 9%, 35%, 50%, 75%.
I'm gonna go with 35.
I feel like that's being very generous. I feel like it's closer to
I feel
9.
like it is being very, very generous too, but I don't think it's like so low that it's like practically nothing.
Okay. As of 2015, about
Is it practically nothing?
it is 9%.
Come on, America. We were reaming Canada for their lack of renewable energy, and we're dumping plastic like crazy.
As of 2015, about 6.3 billion metric tons of plastic has been reduced in the U.S., and of that, only 9% has been recycled.
Can you imagine? You know how big a ton is? That's like,
Yeah.
how heavy is your work van?
Oh God, I don't know.
2 ton?
Something.
3, maybe? Could you imagine how many work vans it would take to be
6.3
6.3 billion
Yeah.
ton? 6.3 billion maybe vans, or maybe
So,
half that.
I actually had looked into something a while back, just since we're talking about tonnage. Tons is really hard for people to picture, right? Like, how much is 1 ton of something?
My car is 1,000 pounds. Barely. I can push it myself, and I have back issues.
So, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen at the hardware store the 50-pound bags of concrete, that you mix together for stuff.
I can't even lift the 10-pound bags of sugar.
Well, just follow me here. So 1 ton of those would be 4,000 bags of 50-pound concrete.
Mhm.
That's 1 ton. I'm sure all of you have
I don't
seen
know how many
that.
pallets that is, because usually
Yeah.
they put them on pallets.
So it's a lot. So the fact that we're not even talking about 1, 2, 3 tons, it's 6.3 billion tons
That's a lot.
had been produced, and only 9% of that recycled.
Come on, America.
True or false? There are 51 trillion microplastic particles in the ocean today, 500 times more than the numbers of stars in our galaxy.
Well, seeing as how we're still finding stars and planets and stuff all the time, and Pluto doesn't know what the hell it is, it's got an identity crisis problem. I'm gonna say true. We have to have more plastic than stars.
Correct. That is long.
Yeah, don't bother.
Question 9.
Uh-huh.
Approximately, Americans use about how much plastic drinking straws per day? 25,000, 100,000, 250 million, 500 million.
I don't know how many people live in the United States. Most people, you gotta estimate, everybody had fast food at least once a day. What's the second highest number?
250 million.
I'm gonna say that. Because that would be like the state of Texas, wouldn't it? How many people are in Texas?
It's 500. 500
What?
million. On average, Americans use 1.6 plastic drinking straws
I don't.
every day. How do you use 0.6 of something? Anyway. Totaling to 500 million per day. That's enough to fill up 125 school buses a day, or 46,400 school buses a year. Drinking straws may not seem like a lot of plastic, but they add up quickly. Instead of getting plastic straws at restaurants or cafes, you can bring your own reusable straw or simply go straw free. Number 10. What percentage of U.S. crude oil consumption does plastic production account for? 1%, 5%, 30%. It doesn't count for any part because plastic is not made using oil.
I didn't think so. I'm gonna say none. What is plastic made of? Plastic.
It is 5%.
Where does plastic come from? How do you make plastic?
About 5% of total used petroleum in the U.S. goes towards plastic production. This may not seem like a lot, but for the world's largest consumer of petroleum, that's equivalent to 330 million barrels of oil a year.
That's low.
How many plastic grocery bags do Americans throw away each year?
I can tell you how many I do.
10 million? 500 million? 1 billion? 100 billion dollars. Sorry, 100 billion.
That sounds like me. Even when I try to keep plastic bags to reuse, I can't. And paper bags, I mean, I get it, they can be like whatever recycled and stuff like that, but you can't really reuse paper bags because like the bottoms fall out or they get wet and the handles break off and I'm gonna say $1 billion.
1 billion.
$1 billion.
It's 100 billion.
Bad kitty.
Number 12. By what year do scientists predict plastic will outweigh fish in the ocean pound for pound?
Soon.
2020, 2050, 2250, 3000. In the year 3000, there's more plastic than fish in the ocean. It's like a bad sci-fi movie right there.
They're all gonna have to change their diets again. I'm gonna say 2050.
2050.
I know you had a bunch of notifications. I just kind of swiped them off.
Correct!
Yes, finally.
A report done by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation found that there are over 150 million tons of plastic in the ocean today. That's about 1 ton of plastic for every 3 tons of fish. Keeping up business as usual trend will have plastic outweigh fish in the ocean by 2050.
Good.
Is that counting whales?
Whales are eating the plastic and dying. They're washing up on the beach and they're cutting them open and it's nothing but like a trash heap inside of them.
Which of the following answer contains the top 5 contributing countries to the world's plastic pollution problem?
Whatever has the United States in it. Because we slobs.
Russia, France, USA, Vietnam, and India.
Uh-huh.
Indonesia, Thailand, USA, China, and France. Thailand, China, Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines. Or USA, China, India, UK, Australia. Now I'm going to let you read those because that was a lot of words.
Those cover a lot of, the last one covers a lot of different countries. Like the UK, Australia, those are massive areas. China, I'm going to go with the last one because those are massive areas.
USA, China, India, UK, and Australia. Oh, incorrect.
What?
USA isn't one of them. Thailand, China, Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines.
Ooh, y'all in trouble?
A report done by the Ocean Conservancy found that over half of the land-based plastic pollution in oceans originate from just 5 countries. Thailand, China, Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. These countries have all achieved significant growth in recent years, and although that is a good thing in terms of improvement of quality of life, it also means that consumer demand of disposable plastic is outstripping the ability of the local waste management infrastructure to keep up with it.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be one with us on it, too.
Here.
Stay. It's trying to blow away. Which of these countries have not made national plastic bag regulations? Kenya, USA, Rwanda, China.
Rwanda.
The US has not created nor implemented any federal regulations on plastic bags. However, several states, such as Hawaii and California, have banned single-use non-biodegradable plastic bags, and other states have pursued legislation requiring retail stores to have recycling and reuse programs. Other cities and countries have imposed a plastic bag fee, such as the District of Columbia, New York City, and Portland, Maine. Whew, that's a lot of reading. Number 15. What percentage of emitted carbon dioxide is absorbed by the oceans?
Good God.
10%, 40, 50, or 77?
I'm going to go with 40.
Correct.
I still think I failed this thing so far.
I feel that you have too. Number 16. On average, how long is a plastic bag used by a person before being thrown away? 12 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week.
On average?
On average. See, that highly depends.
I put my groceries in it, I bring it home, I undo my groceries, they go in the trash can.
Yeah, but see, sometimes we still have all the drinks.
Have some, but yeah.
All the drinks are still sitting in bags. They've been there for like a week now.
Yeah.
Other
And they still
time-
have the plastic rings around them.
Yeah, so I mean that's subjective, but on average,
A week.
a week. I feel like it's gonna say something like 12 minutes or an hour is gonna be the answer. Ooh, 12 minutes.
Dang it, I was right. Grocery trip. Ow. I kicked the table. Take that table.
About 71% of the Earth is covered with water. How much of it is fresh water?
Not much.
2.5, 5, 20, or 50%?
Like 2%, 2.5.
2.5% water.
It's not much.
Correct.
And a lot of it you have to dig for.
Only 2.5% of the Earth's water is fresh water, but over half of that fresh water is locked away in glaciers and ice caps.
Yep.
The water that supports life on Earth makes up only 1.2% of Earth's fresh water, or about 0.03% of Earth's total water.
Which is crazy how marine life can live in salt water and we can't even drink it.
Right.
But we can eat fish and it won't harm us. To some extent.
More than half of the breathable oxygen in the world comes from the oceans, the forests, lakes, clouds.
Clouds filter rain. Forest? Wait, because the ocean, the carbon question was like 40%. That's almost half. I'll say the ocean.
And I'm basing that answer only on this is a quiz about the ocean. We're going to go with the oceans.
I was basing it on the
And
carbon
we are
question. The carbon question was 40%. How much carbon does it filter or whatever?
About 2/3 of the world's breathable oxygen comes from oceans, or more specifically, from tiny marine plants called
Plankton.
photoplankton,
Photoplankton.
floating on the ocean's surface. Like all plants, photoplankton photosynthesizes, converting carbon dioxide to valuable energy and oxygen. Question 19. How much water does it take to produce 1 bottle of water? No water is used to produce plastic. 1 bottle of water, 3 bottles of water, 6 bottles of water. That is a weird question. Is it asking, like, for the actual bottle itself?
Like, if you were pouring a bottle of water into a container to make plastic, like, I didn't even know it was made out of oil to begin with, or whatever. So if you were pouring bottles of water in to make plastic itself, the bottles of plastic,
Okay.
how many bottles of water would it take to make a bottle of plastic?
Right, for water. So.
See, I don't even know what plastic is made out of. Does anybody know what plastic is actually made out of? No.
Google does.
Google does, but does anybody? They don't teach us this in school. They don't teach you what stuff is actually made out of. I learned like smithing and stuff from a video game. You know, like I didn't know you could combine this and this and get this.
Well, I know that the rubber on the tires, a lot of the stuff used in the asphalt pavement for roads, almost every road, like that's all made with oil products.
Probably. I want to say like 1 bottle of water will take to make a bottle of plastic.
3. According to the Pacific Institute, producing a water bottle, including the plastic container and the filtered water inside, requires 3 times the amount of water in the actual bottle. In other words, every liter of bottled water sold represents 3 liters of water used. And this doesn't say anything about the energy required to transport it. Yeah, okay, so it was meaning like a full bottle of water, like all the water in there and the bottle itself.
Oh.
Takes 3 bottles of water. Which I'm going to guess one of those bottles is to fill the water, so 2 bottles of water to make the plastic.
It's insanity. Alright, what's my results? I got a 52.63%, and the sun went away. Alright, so look up what is plastic made of? How is plastic made? Plastics Europe about plastics. Load. Plastics are derived from a natural organic material such as cellulose, coal, natural gas, salt, and crude oil. So where's the water?
I guess the production requires water.
I'm not seeing bottles of water in there.
But it did remind me of something else.
Hold on. Wow, look how fast those clouds are moving. It's like the sun's gonna be behind that big old cloud for a little while.
No, that wasn't it. Hold on.
That was a really good lunch.
Okay, so I don't remember exactly the time period. Anyway, so since we were talking about plastics, cotton actually caused one of our recessions or depressions. I forget which one it was, but it was because overplanting of cotton dried up the nutrients in the soil. But everybody refused to plant anything else besides cotton because that was the only thing making money. Well, it was suggested, well, if you plant peanuts, it will replace the nutrients in the soil. And everybody's like, yeah, but peanuts don't sell. Can't make money off of that.
Virginia is the peanut capital of the United States, FYI.
So, Mr. George Washington Carver, which everybody knows for coming up with like 99 different ways for peanuts, that was actually why. So that there would be an excuse for peanuts to sell. During that time, Henry Ford actually created a peanut-based plastic for his vehicles to help you know,
Then
sell
look
more
up
peanuts.
Henry Ford
Yeah.
plastic.
Yeah, that's because I forget. I'm bad with years and when that was.
Doesn't matter years. When you do a Google search, you search specific terms.
Anyway, yeah. So around that time, I'll let you skim that.
Yeah.
But George Washington Carver was coming up with all the different ways to use peanuts so that farmers would start planting peanuts to replace the nutrients in the soil. So
Carver left Iowa to head to the Department of Agriculture in Tuskegee and Normal and Industry Institute, a school founded by a leading black educator, Booker T. Washington. We know him. By convincing farmers in the South to plant peanuts as an alternative to cotton, Carver helped resuscitate the region's agriculture. In the process, he became one of the most respected and influential scientists in the country. Like Carver, Ford was deeply interested in the regenerative properties of soil and the potential of alternative crops, such as peanuts, soybeans, to produce plastics, paint, fuel, and other products. Ford had long believed that the world would eventually need a substitute for gasoline and supported the production of ethanol.
Yeah, ethanol, which
grain
is
alcohol,
gas made from corn grain,
as an alternative fuel. In 1942, he would showcase a car with lightweight plastic body made from soybeans. Ford and Carver began corresponding via letter in 1934, and their mutual admiration deepened after Carver made a visit to Michigan in 1937, 3 years later. Apparently he's donated generously, Ford donated generously to the Tuskegee Institute too, helping Carver's experiments in this matter and oversee crops at the Ford plantation in Georgia. And then it goes into like World War II and stuff like that.
Yeah, one of the things that came about that is the idea of crop rotations. So let's say you have two fields. Well, one year you do cotton and peanuts. The next year you do cotton and peanuts. Mm-hmm. That way they're on a rotation because plants like cotton just steal nutrients from the soil, where peanuts and I think they said soy replaces all of that.
A lot of farmers have that issue with
Henry Ford, one of the biggest producers of automobiles back in the day. Even then, pretty much at the beginning of the automobile industry, said we need renewable stuff.
In the 1800s.
Well, yeah, he said we need renewable energy.
A car maker in the 1800s.
Which actually, most people, because of the way it's taught in school, understand it that Henry Ford made the first automobile.
He didn't.
He made the first affordable automobile by coming up with assembly line procedures. I believe it was Benz, Mercedes-Benz,
Mercedes-Benz was
that had the first
1920
automated car.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Had the first automated vehicle, or not automated.
I can't remember yours, much less mine.
Yeah. Automobile, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, there's if you go to Luray Caverns, I need to take you to Luray. It's going to have to be on a day where I take some pain pills and I can actually walk the 20-some stories down that steep slope and back up. Yeah, Carl Benz.
Yeah, Benz.
I'm trying to remember what year it was, though, because I know it was before the 1900s. Okay, first automobile built in 1885.
Yeah, Henry Ford just made vehicles affordable by coming up with the assembly line.
There was, however, in 1870 in Vienna, Austria, Siegfried Marcus produced a liquid-fueled internal combustion engine for a hand cart, which was the first man-propelled vehicle. And in 1883, Marcus secured a German patent for a low-voltage ignition system, which was his only automotive patent. And the design was used to further engines. Yeah, but nothing is like officially built as an automobile until the late 1880s.
So Mr. Benz came along
and basically stole the concept. He was like, hey, I'm gonna put this in here and
He Edisoned
I'm gonna
it.
go. Yeah. Poor elephant.
Also, on the topic of renewable energy, so Elon Musk, his company has created a form of solar panel. It basically goes on your roof and looks like shingles, but it's all solar panels, all interconnected. So it's your entire roof where all your shingles are would be solar panels instead. And aesthetically, it really just looks like you have shingles.
Well, I had a house
And
where
they're hail and rain and everything resistant.
the wall, it just had like a white ripple kind of pattern, and you could see it on the inside of the house too. It wasn't see-through. It was like clouded, but yeah, I had a house like that, and it was in a solar community. It was a solar 2 community.
That's
so
nice.
It wasn't fully solar powered, but I mean the electricity bills weren't that high.
Yeah, I mean, because most people, when you think of solar powered, you're like, oh yeah, the big ugly thing that goes on the roof or in the yard. Well, there are alternatives. Granted, probably more expensive. Well, actually, no, I think it's less expensive
It should be
per
less
per
expensive.
square foot through Elon Musk's company. I forget which one. It might be Tesla, where they can do your entire roof as solar panel and it look like shingles. So it's not this big intrusive thing.
I like Tesla.
I really do. Actually, I like pretty much everything Elon Musk is doing. I think is brilliant.
Every time I see a Tesla driving around, I'm just like, oh my god, it's a, because you don't really see those around here. It's rare. But every time I see one, I'm just like, oh my god, it's a Tesla.
You can also have, although you would want to have the solar panels first because it'd probably hurt your electric bill, but you can also have the Tesla charging stations installed at your house.
That would be highly beneficial.
So if you had the solar roof and you got a Tesla, go ahead and get the charging station to hook up to that.
I wouldn't know where a charging station was. Like
there is one
any.
in Hopewell somewhere, up near the historical district.
So that's not too far away.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things that he's doing, even in space and rocket technology. While those do produce a lot of emissions, the fuels he's using for his rockets are much more sustainable. In fact, so much sustainable that his newest one he's coming out with, the one he's wanting to send to Mars, has the ability to be fueled by stuff found readily on Mars. So the first mission they're sending there is going to have automated systems and I think a few crew to set up mining stations to mine this stuff out of the atmosphere and the ground to refill the Starship and go back home.
I don't keep up with Mars very much.
I keep up with a lot of just Elon Musk in general because a lot of the stuff he's doing is pretty good.
Alright, so our food is done, and hopefully you've learned something, because I know I've learned a lot of stuff about the Earth today and renewable energies. Come on, America, and your plastics. And renewable energies and the ocean and forests and electricity and all sorts of stuff. So we're gonna remind you to check out the other collaborators in this picnic collaboration. Check the links below in the description and leave a like, leave a comment on their videos, make it a relevant comment. Please sit there and watch the video and actually leave a relevant comment pertaining to the video itself. Don't just be like, hey, somebody sent me over here. That's not relevant. It'd be great if you could sub to them, give them the views, promote them out if you can. That would be awesome too. We're all doing this for fun and everything, but knowing that other people are, being entertained by us or learning something from us or just in general spending time with us while social distancing or just online in general, it gives us a satisfaction as vloggers that we are doing something important aside from just recording for ourselves. We're recording for you guys too, so give us that kind of credit. And we work really hard on editing and putting our stuff together. Like this lunch, my back has gone out all weekend. It is now Tuesday, and my back is still killing me. Even though I'm taking my meds and I'm laying down with my feet propped up, and I still manage to make deviled eggs and, you know, the broccoli salad, and I'm standing there leaning on the counter and everything in pain, but I still did it because I wanted to do this collaboration. I wanted to do a video with my friends on YouTube. I wanted to show off, you know, a cool keto idea for a picnic, and I wanted to get out, you know, in the sunshine and still be able to social distance with everybody and say hi and stuff. So give us all our credit, okay? Please. All right. So I will see you in another video at another time. Bye, Fairy Fam.
Bye.
Gavin!
Gavin!
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's